Christmas lights fill the city. There are people everywhere. The snow is falling white and pretty as I stroll on my way to you. How would you feel about packing up today? Leave this old big bird and go get snowed in somewhere.
Today's outfit is very fancy. I'm just wearing this Enneagram and coffee hoodie and some like joggers. I think we got these from Target. This is it. This is what we're working with. Hello, happy day 11 of Vlogmas. I am working from home this morning just to kind of have a little bit of a relaxed start to the day. I have meetings most of the afternoon, and actually I have one at 10 this morning with, it's an interview with Success Magazine. And then I have meetings from a podcast interview for someone else's podcast this afternoon, and then a podcast interview for my podcast this afternoon. And then we're just kind of working on getting things ready for 2021. I have like videos to upload. Brave Collective, Brave Kits. I'm in the process of getting 2021 finalized, things along those lines. So that's kind of where my energy is going today. And today's kind of a big day for the company because it's the last day that people can place merch orders in time for Christmas. And so Obi is like right over there, like hustling away. And Jenny's kind of like on deck. Like if he needs help, she's like ready to go, because we need to have all the orders processed before end of day. And we just have like lots of customer service emails on top of processing those orders. So they're really busy with their thing. And then I'm over here with my busy things and I can't help. It's like a weird feeling, but it's also a good thing. It's a good feeling. So yeah, I'm gonna prioritize my tasks, chart out the day, and we'll get started. So it's 11 a.m. I'm gonna break for lunch at like 11:45 to like make something. So 45 minutes, and I want to kind of double team. I need to create like the template for 2021 Brave Kits, so what they're gonna look like, and like what's included exactly, and like do that visually. So I think I'm gonna do that while creating the January Brave Kit. So like do those at the same time. And I want to get that done in 45 minutes. I don't know that that's possible, but I'm gonna try. So I didn't quite get it done, but I did make a good dent in it, and I've got like the visual identity down and kind of what I want it to look and feel like. I have, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spreads left to do, and so far I've done 8, so it looks like probably like another 45 minutes of work on this, but I'm gonna do that after lunch because I'm hungry. I'll show you what I've done so far though. So this is kind of like the cover of the workbook, and then we have our quarterly check-in, January vision, or January's theme is vision. And then we get into the quote of the month, a letter from me, book recommendation, a suggested workshop in the curriculum, the challenge if you choose to accept it, and then we get into monthly planning, and then we are just getting started on moon rituals. I'll do a new moon ritual and a full moon ritual, and then we have other things that are coming, our bucket list and journaling prompts and weekly thought exercises, but we're getting there. Hello, so I thought it would be fun to do a kind of like tour of our coffee bar and share a peppermint mocha recipe with you. So we're gonna walk through what we have in our coffee bar, like what are our staples, and yeah, and then I'll show you how I'm making iced peppermint mochas right now, and then I'll talk to you about the hot one, but I want to drink an iced one. So above our coffee bar is just like basically dry goods storage. That way we don't have to leave it in the cabinets, and but we do have a little bit of sugar, a little bit of matcha, and then these Chamberlain coffees that Jenny sent over. And then we have the Nespresso Virtuo Plus. We got this one because it can make both espresso and coffee, but honestly we mostly use it for espresso, but we do really like it. Then our milk frother is missing. I will grab her. We got this milk frother. This is an upgrade from the first one we got. The first one we got was like the one without a handle. But this one is about $20 more, and it is well worth the additional money. Like, well worth it. It is the reason we're able to make latte art with our Nespresso. So 100% worth it. We use this setting on ours for cappuccinos. And we temp it. We bought this thermometer off of Amazon. I think it was like $5. And so we temp it. I temp mine to where it just hits 120. And then I use it from there. This milk frother we got off of Amazon as well. I use this mostly for matcha or dalgona coffees or like Greek fraps. This is some coffee liqueur that will be made. This is the Bonavita kettle. This one's nice. It's like $30. So it's super affordable. And you just push it down, and when it's done, you're good to go. We have the Encore Baratza Encore grinder. This one's really, really accurate for the price that you're getting. I think it's like $100 or $99, and you get a really accurate grind. So this was an upgrade that we did after a little while of having a cheaper grinder, and I would make that decision again. In this drawer we have our Nespresso pods. This one is empty, but it's usually got the one we use the most, which is Bianco Ligaro. This is the one we use without milk. It's Voltesso. This is a single shot. The one we usually use is a double shot. We have some decaf and instant coffee, our coffee spoons. I love this Abuelita hot cocoa. Coffee, we use Trade coffee for subscription, and then some more hot cocoa in the back. And then here is mostly tea. We're actually not really big tea drinkers, but we aspire to be, I think. So we have our tea here, and then like any kind of like gadget or appliance or brewer, some more tea. Like literally we got this in Paris on our honeymoon years ago, and we haven't finished it yet. So that's how we are with tea. A little bit of like tea cookies. And down here we have our cookbooks, shot glasses, espresso cups, cappuccino sized cups, some more tea, our like coffee mugs. birthday balloon, sparkling water, kind of like our pour over setup. We have like our pour over cone, our scale, which is from Hario. Our cone is from Counterculture. I don't know if they still have it, but it's the Pro Cone. And then our filters. And then obviously like our kind of like liquor cabinet is here with like the little measuring cup and alcohol, whatever alcohol we have in the house. Also back there, you can't see, but back there's a French press and a manual grinder that we use a little bit less frequently. So that's the whole thing. It's up to date. I think I did a tour of this in the beginning, but we've definitely updated it a decent amount. Oh, and we have the Chemex here and the mocha pot as well. That's what we're working with. We mostly use these guys to make cappuccinos or pour overs. That's kind of our zone main things. Let's make a peppermint mocha. Okay, so I'm using this Hershey's syrup. I really like this one, but use any chocolate syrup that you like. I'll walk you guys through how I would do this if it were hot, because I just like don't use syrup when it's hot unless I had like Ghirardelli's or something, maybe I would, but I would rather either make it out of a chocolate bar or even just use hot cocoa powder. So I'll talk you through how I would do it with cocoa powder. Or hot chocolate powder. I did 2 tablespoons into a mason jar of chocolate. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of peppermint extract. Yeah. Yeah, 1/2 teaspoon of peppermint extract. I want a little extra by accident. And then I'm gonna pour in my espresso. Ooh. This cup is from the Bright Angle. You can find them on Etsy. They're from Asheville. I'm gonna pour it into my mason jar as well. And then I'll stir this so that it's nice and melted. So I just want to like get the chocolate like nice melted and incorporated. It smells good. Okay, so now I'm going to add my milk. In case you were wondering, we're obsessed with Fairlife milk. Fun fact. And I'm gonna add like 4 ounces of milk, so maybe a little more. Okay, added a little extra. And then I'm gonna give that a stir, but I'm really mostly gonna shake this with a couple of cubes of ice. So I'm gonna do like 3 cubes of ice. And then I'm gonna shake it. And the reason I do it like this, so first I mix the flavor with the espresso so that it's like nice and incorporated and melted. And then I cool it down with the milk so that it's already cool before I even add ice, so the ice doesn't just like immediately melt. And then I shake it so that it's nice and like frothy and creamy and yummy. So we'll do that. So my to-go cup. This cup is from Amazon. And I'm just gonna fill it with ice. Then I'm gonna pour it over. And I feel like normally if I were drinking this at home, I would top it with whipped cream. But I'm taking it to go, and I just don't want to put it in my cup, but that's it. It's a little too pepperminty for my taste. That's because I accidentally spilled a bunch of peppermint. If you're not as pepperminty either, you could do like 1/4 of a teaspoon because it's like pretty strong, but it's really good. What I would do if I were not making it iced, I would use a hot chocolate packet and I would brew it with some hot milk. So I'd use my milk frother personally, mix them together, and then I would add espresso and top it with whipped cream. I usually use like 1/2 a packet of hot cocoa mix as well. I'm also interested in the attempt to make it like a dalgona style with instant coffee and hot cocoa packet. I haven't tried that yet. That might be really good too. But let me know if you try it. Again, I think I would use 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint instead of 1/2 of a teaspoon. I think that might be better. But if you try it, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you on the way to the office. Okay, friends, so we are heading into the office. I have a podcast interview at 2 p.m. for someone else's podcast, and then I have one at 3 p.m. for my podcast. And before that, I have some tasks to do. I need to record a video for Brave Collective members and keep working on that workbook for them. And then I was going to take a workshop today in one of the programs that I'm in, but I don't know that I'll be able to do that. I'm rooting for it, but I have to wait. So that is what's happening over here. It is like not normally this, I don't know if it feels this way on the vlogs, but like I feel like I am like just like go all day long, and that is like not the lifestyle that I have built for myself. In general, I usually have a lot more downtime, or I try to have a lot more downtime, but that is just not the season we're in. And this morning I was journaling about it, and I was just thinking, like, in a lot of ways, I mean, I have Jenny and I have Obi and I have, you know, Gravy, and I have a podcast team, and I have a lot of help. And in that way, like, it is not as bad as it would have been a year ago or 2 years ago if we were in this situation. And beyond that, just like on a real note, like, the reason it's hectic is because I am gearing up for vacation. So we have, you know, we're giving the whole team 2 weeks off for the holidays, and then the direct week after we get back, I go on my CEO retreat, which is just where I take a week away to be alone and you know, vision for the future of the company, the year of the company. And this year I'm doing that in Nashville, but I'm getting an Airbnb and I'm just gonna go be alone for a week and just plan and vision and put things into place for what we need to make happen. And so all of that to say, like, I'm gonna be a little bit like removed from my day-to-day for like 3 weeks after this crazy season. So while it feels really intense right now, it's easy for me, or it's important that I remember that this is a sprint, not a marathon, and there is an end. There is a finish line, you know, like there is an end to this. And all of the hard work that we're doing now is what will make taking weeks off even physically possible without everything falling to bits. So in that way, it's like actually like a pretty amazing gift that we're able to do this. Even just saying it out loud is nice. It's true. Okay, so I'm gonna quit vlogging. I know that I'm safe to vlog while I drive. Like, the camera is like set up, I'm looking at the road. I still feel weird about it. So like 63 degrees outside, I would guess, and it feels actually like pretty nice. So I get to open the doors and work with the view until my podcast interview comes, and then I need to close them for the sound, but that's exciting for me. So I am just uploading that video to my Brave Collective members. It's basically just like Brave Collective is in like a pretty deep season of transition as we move into a new phase. I'm making a lot of edits to the program, and so the old like introduction to the program workshops aren't as relevant anymore. So I just need to give them a little information about like what to expect and what's going on. Yeah, so I'm uploading that to their members area now, and then I'm going to send them an email with just this week's meeting, a quick survey for feedback, and the video about what things are like over here right now. So I'm doing that, and then in about 30 minutes I have a podcast interview. Maybe I'll get to work on the Brave Kids a little bit before then, but if not, we'll do it at the end of the day. So I had a podcast interview, but she hasn't shown up yet. I have like a wait 7-minute rule, and if you don't show up in 7 minutes, then I call it. So yeah, it's 2:08 and she's not here, so I'm going to work on the Brave Kids. It's kind of like a weird season where, I mean, I think I never really mind a canceled meeting, honestly, so I'm not mad about it. I'm like never mad about it. I would rather us just reschedule. Like, fine with it always. So I have a canceled meeting. I'm gonna work on my Brave Kids, and then I have a podcast interview at 3 for my podcast. Yay. Okay, so we ended up getting to do our interview after all. We just started like 20 minutes a little bit later. Now I'm going to do a quick bathroom break and a hydration break, and then I have a podcast interview for my podcast in 2 minutes. Let's do this. Let's do this. We did it. That is my last meeting of the day. It's about 4 p.m. I'm going to keep working for a little bit longer to finish the, or at least make like a decent dent in the Brave kit that I was working on. I don't know if I'll finish it today, but I'm gonna make some progress on it at least. And then we'll head home. It's my night to cook dinner. So I will cook, and then I think I'm gonna do like a big luxurious bath tonight and maybe hopefully get a workout in. I don't know timing wise if that's gonna be possible, but I'm rooting for it, you know? So yeah, let's close out the day. I'm shutting things down for the day. And I wanted to just kind of have like a little conversation about the icky feelings of doing the right thing, of how it can sometimes feel harder when you're trying to like improve your life than it does when you're just like not. I think sometimes we think about like, oh, I'm growing, I'm getting better. It's gonna feel magical. It's gonna feel like I'm gonna feel great. I'm gonna have so much energy. I'm gonna feel amazing every day. And the reality is that like actually sometimes it's harder. Like I'm in this season of intense growth and improvement on all these different areas of my life. Like we're really going hard on our budget right now. I'm like deeply improving Brave Collective. I'm getting a lot of feedback on just like what's working, what's not working. In that regard, you know, we're focusing heavily on how to restructure the business in a way that like works better. We're doing a lot of like parenting growth. And so all of these different things, you know, I'm improving, but we're improving in ways it's like not as fun, right? Like saving money isn't logistically, it's not as much fun as spending money. Like it just isn't. It doesn't mean that it's not good or I'm not grateful to be doing that or it's not the right move for me. It just doesn't feel as good. And a lot of the things, you know, especially when we think about Enneagram, we think about like, okay, all of these like mechanisms that we learn to get through when we don't do them, it can feel hard. You know, I think about like for me, being able to do whatever I want whenever I want, like that is like my joy. And right now, it's just like that's not available to me. And it's so because of that, it's also kind of my Achilles heel, right? It's also the thing that I go to when I feel out of control or when I feel like I'm feeling something I don't want to be feeling, basically. And so because of that, I basically am just saying I'm not using my coping mechanisms right now. And I'm working really hard at work, but also not just in my work life, but like also in my growth as a person and as a business owner, trying to improve. And it's not rainbows, you know, it's hard and it's a little bit boring and a little bit draining and sometimes like sad. And that's just kind of the reality of self-improvement sometimes. And I think when it's not as shiny to share as like the good times or the easier times, but it's also important because it's real and it's happening. And it doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. I think for a long time I chased the good feeling and I thought like, oh, that feels bad, it must not be for me. And I would move away from it. And what I've learned is like actually sometimes it's a symptom that you are in the right place because you're feeling icky because you're working against kind of the part of you that your survival mechanisms, you know, and where I'm at right now, like I don't need those tactics to be okay. So they're just kind of on overdrive and I need to really kind of ignore this like loud screaming thing that's saying like, just feel better, do something that makes you feel better, because it will go against the objectives that I have for my life, right? Like if I want to save money for a down payment and then I'm like, I'm just gonna do whatever feels better, I'm gonna spend all of my savings on something that I want, then like that's not really what I want, right? Like that's sabotaging future me's happiness in order for me to have a teeny moment of happiness right now. So that's just something that's on my mind. I've been asking for a lot of feedback lately on things because my goal for 2021 is to really go deep and to improve on the things that I'm already doing and to make them as good as they can possibly be. So I'm asking for a lot of feedback. I'm receiving a lot of feedback and it is good and I want it and it's the right thing and it hurts. you know, and it's hard and it makes me sad. But it doesn't mean that it's not the right thing. It's not what I want, right? It is the best thing for me, for the program, for everybody. And ouch. And I can honor the ouch without having to prevent it, because I'm okay. You know, it's a fine feeling. I will survive. But also it's hard, and that's okay. It can be honored. So I am calling it for the day. I've done as much as my brain will allow me to do. I've already like prepped and planned out what tomorrow's day is gonna look like. So let's head home and see if we can get some sort of a movement in before dinner starts, before I cook dinner. Hi. So, I wanted to give you the real, which is that when I go home, I said, Obi, can I have 5 minutes to just go in the room and be sad? And he was like, 100%. So, I just like went in there and I just let myself feel my feelings. And after a little bit, he came in and was just like, do you want to talk about it? And we just kind of talked it all out. And he gave me some really good reflection, which just like, you have never been able to like get clarity while you're like in your day-to-day life. Like you have to step out of your day-to-day life. So I imagine like when you're on your CEO retreat, like you will get the clarity that you need. But for tonight, I want to cook dinner and you just kind of rest up. And our little was kind of having a stressful moment too. So Ovi cooked dinner and I just came and like sat with our little and let him talk to me about his feelings. And we just kind of felt crummy together. We just were like, yeah, it's a hard day. And we like had dinner and played a game, and that, you know, feel better. I'm gonna run a luxurious bath, like just go all out with candles and bath oils and do the whole thing. And then I will edit you and get you scheduled for tomorrow. And yeah, and that's the end of the day. I'm not trying to be a bummer. I know like my 7 in me is like, you're complaining. But yeah, I just also want to be real and not just show you all the like happy fun parts, but also just be honest about like, this is what's going on. And yeah, it felt good to like just honor my experience. I think, you know, my tactics in the past, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but like in the past, I think I've always trying to fix the feeling. And so I make it overly complicated. I'm like, I need to solve it. I need to like make this feeling go away. And that has been like the biggest gift that this year has given me, is just maybe you just need to feel it and let it exist. And I felt like good about that. I felt good about just being like, yeah, I'm just gonna be in it for a minute, and then I'll be all right. So that is what we did. I'm gonna end the blog here, or the vlog here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on day 11 of Vlogmas, and I will see you tomorrow for day 12, and I imagine we will have a much more sunshiny day tomorrow. I will show you my bath setup before we go, but this is my last time talking to the camera. Have a great night or morning or whatever time you're watching.